1 year later, folks across Wisconsin are still dealing with the impact of severe flooding from historic rainfall. All day long, News 3 Now will be marking the anniversary of that August 2018 flooding. My co-anchor Josh Spreiter is live from western Dane County this morning to lead off our coverage. Good morning, Josh.
Leah, good morning to you. We're coming to you from Black Earth this morning, and we're getting our first hint of daylight, which is making it all the more real just how much water was here where I'm standing last year. If I would have been in this place last year, that water would have been probably double my height. Of course, all is quiet here this morning, and it was a morning that was started just like this. It was very, very quiet. Nobody really expected what was going to be coming later that day. Well, the next morning when I was at this location, after more than a foot of rain fell, that rainfall broke a state record for the heaviest amount to fall in a 24-hour period. More than a foot of rain fell across the area. Now, the Black Earth Creek Bridge was just one of the many bridges that was either damaged or washed away across southern Wisconsin, stranding thousands of communities with no way in or out. Roads disappeared, train tracks were dismantled, power was lost, many homes and businesses either heavily damaged or gone. Hundreds of residents even had to be rescued because of high water in many communities. It was because of all of that, Dane County officials had to declare a state of emergency. In a one-on-one interview, County Executive Joe Parisi tells me one of the things that made this such a tricky event was because of all of the stages the flooding came in.
You know, initially it was the flash flooding, and that's where the tragedy of the loss of human life occurred. That's where most of the damage occurred, was due to flash flooding, both in streets and rising over stream banks and that type of flooding. So first response was initially what had to happen from all units of government throughout the county and beyond, trying to make sure people were safe, rescuing people, and seeing what people's immediate needs were. We could tell days in advance that the lakes are going to begin to swell. So what we did then was coordinated efforts to mitigate that damage, sandbagging efforts, etc., and got people together in order to prevent damage from occurring that we could prevent.
How important was that community stepping up for you guys? Because obviously there's only so much that you can do, right?
It was great. It was all hands on deck. People were helping their neighbors, municipalities, and folks who lived along different lakes and different rivers all came together, did their part. The Red Cross came and did their part. So all in all, when you look at how folks came together, there's some stuff we can control, and obviously a lot that we can't control. We can't control the weather. We can't control whether it's going to rain 15 inches all at once.
Now, that flooding destroyed many homes, businesses, and schools across the area. 1 year since the devastation, Keely Arthur is live from one Middleton school with how they have bounced back. Keely, good morning.
Good morning, Josh. That's right. Now, here at Primrose School in Middleton, the flooding costs a total of $500,000 in damage. Now, this is just one classroom, but there are 11 here, and I'm told that flooding damaged all 11 classrooms, but you really wouldn't be able to tell that right now. And here to talk a little bit more about the recovery and renovation is the owner of this school, Amanda Kienbaum. Good morning, Amanda. So get into the nitty-gritty details. What did this place look like a year ago?
Well, at about this time last year, there was no power for what ended up being probably about 3 days. There was water that had risen, sewage water out of the drains, out of the toilets, and when we got here, it was hot and musty and splashing through water. The drywall from the chair rails, which is about 2 feet up, was all completely cut out. Anything that was low on the floor. We're an early childhood program, so that was a lot of things. Those were completely damaged, things that had to be just thrown into a large dumpster and replaced.
So many families, households, businesses impacted, but immediately you had to close down, impacting 150 families who rely on this place.
We did. Not knowing kind of the extent of it, we originally just started with a delay, which turned into a close because we couldn't even get here. So we were closed for 2 days, and during that first day of closing, we reached out into the community, found a home at Black Hawk Church, and spent 9 weeks there, and we're able to just continue on with our families by Thursday of that week, and just a new home and another day for those kids.
You can tell that you're still so grateful for all of that. This story with us, Amanda, and coming up in our talk more about how Blackhawk and other community members right here in Middleton held this school up during a very troubling time. Josh?
Keely Arthur live in Middleton this morning. Keely, thank you. And of course, our coverage is just beginning right here on News 4 Now this morning. We have a day full of coverage ahead for us. We'll have continuing coverage of how communities across southern Wisconsin have recovered from that historic flooding and where things sit today. And of course, what's next. So stay with News 4 Now and channel3000.com all day long. Of course, Leah, our coverage is just beginning this morning. We have a lot to look forward to coming up in our next half hour as well. We're seeing a lot more daylight out here, which is bringing kind of those memories back to where we were in this place last year, Leah. So very remarkable to see how far these communities have come, but still a long way to go as far as preparing for what could happen again.
Oh, I bet. All right, Josh Spreiter and Keely Arthur with some phenomenal reporting this morning. Josh, thank you.